program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors to Daily with Doc and Becca. Today is Pharmacist Friday. Hi, my name is Becca Dukes, and I am the hostess of this program. I'm also the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, where we help guide people in understanding the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and what we can do for ourselves to help overcome those deficiencies. This program is a little bit a part of that, not connected, but we also promote the fact that there is a lot that you can do to help yourselves. You can be your own authority, and folks, who has more regard for you than you. For some people, they don't, but you really should. And we're putting the choices, taking choices into action is what we're all about. But most importantly, teaching what those choices are and how many times there have been false teachings that have led us to being sicker and sicker. We don't have to be sicker and sicker. And best part about it, even if we are sick, our bodies allow U-turns. So let's go ahead and give some valuable information in helping people find that U-turn for them. So this program is being brought to you by dailywithdoc.com. We are a resource for an amazing community. On our website, you will find the replays for our programming. You'll also find a good foods, bad foods list and a store that helps you find easily the solutions that are talked about on this program. Now, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. They have their own special ordering process, and we want to make sure that we keep the integrity of this community intact because, like I said, we are a resource for an amazing community. But if you are not working with anybody, you've never spoken to anybody about anything that you hear about on our program, whether it's Pharmacist Ben, Dr. Joel Wallach, Longevity, if you've never spoken to anybody, we have an amazing team of certified holistic health coaches available to assist you in helping make sure that you are choosing the products that are best fit for you. You can give us a call at 855-949-3377, or if you prefer to go communicate by email, we have questions at dailywithdoc.com. Or you can go to our website and use that contact us option or that contact option in the menu. So without further ado, it is my joy and honor to have Fridays with a pharmacist that has been on both sides of the counter. He has gone deeper into just what was taught in pharmacy school, which I really appreciate pharmacy school because they do teach about nutrition and the interactions within the body, but they also, of course, go into the pharmaceuticals. But when you have somebody that's a free thinker and thinking, okay, why exactly is the body reacting like this? And when you give it this nutrient, it has a better reaction. So he actually got fired for thinking like that. And we are excited to be able to have him with us many years later, still going strong as a nutritional pharmacist and compounding pharmacist, still active in the field of helping people not only achieve great looking skin, but achieving it from the inside out. And it goes beyond skin. So Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, welcome to Daily with Doc, the Pharmacist Friday edition. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for doing what you're doing. You deserve some props, Rebecca, for doing this every day and carrying on. No matter what goes on, you're there, like the post office. Neither rain nor sleet nor dark of night or something like that. Anyway, at least how the post office used to be. So, yes, I am a pharmacist, and a lot of times people ask me, why are you talking about nutrition? You're a pharmacist. Well, nutrients are what drugs dream they could be, right? Nutrients can give you everything that a pharmaceutical does, plus you take a nutrient for your high blood pressure, you get better bones, you get better immune system, you get better skin. You take a nutrient for your arthritis and you get better connective tissue and better heart function and better blood sugar control, etc. So nutrients give you what drugs do, but in a much broader spectrum because they work at fundamental biochemical levels that the body can use. The body can incorporate nutrients into its own biochemistry, into its structure in a way that it can't do with pharmaceuticals. We do study nutrients in pharmacy school because, as it turns out, nutrients are like medicines in the sense that they have a therapeutic value. So vitamin A has a therapeutic value for the eyes. It's a treatment for night blindness. Vitamin D has a therapeutic value for the bones. It's a treatment for osteoporosis or rickets. Pellagra has a therapeutic value for the brain. Or the skin. It's a treatment. It's a therapeutic treatment for pellagra. So nutrients have therapeutic value like drugs, but you get with two differences. Number one, you get broad spectrum, you get different benefits. And number two, you get no toxicity. And that's why I love working with nutrients. Nutrients are God's medicines, God's pharmaceuticals. And if you consider yourself a godly person, and I do consider myself a godly person, it's a no-brainer to work with God's drugs, God's medicines, God's pharmaceuticals versus man-made synthetic chemicals, which always come with a toxicity and side effect profile. In addition to the toxicity and side effect profile, drugs, and this is very important because nobody talks about this except we do here, drugs cost us nutrition. So not only do drugs come replete with toxicities and side effects and adverse reactions, but they also lead to nutritional deficiencies, which, number one, can cause or exacerbate problems that you're taking the drugs for. In other words, you take your statin drug to protect your heart from cholesterol. The statin drug reduces your body's coenzyme Q10 content. Coenzyme Q10 is important for the heart. So many times the nutrients that are depleted by the intake or the ingestion of pharmaceutical drugs are the very nutrients you need to address the problem that you're taking the drugs for. And nobody ever talks about that. So nutrients are God's pharmaceuticals. They're non-toxic. They don't require detoxification machinery, detoxification nutrients, and you get broad spectrums. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Now, today I want to talk about three separate things. First of all, and most importantly, I got a question yesterday. I got a call yesterday, or not a call, but a Facebook message from a gal who had dental problems. She had severe dental loss. And I wrote back and I said, you're not going to be able to address the dental issues unless you address other health challenges. And this is very often the case. When we have a health issue, like for example, this gal who's got some severe bone loss in her jaw and she's losing her teeth, we think that we're going to address or target that specific part of the body. And we look for nutritional supplements that will target the jaw or target the teeth. And while there are nutritional supplements that you can use that help build bone, if you have an underlying health challenge, you can't address a specific sequelae. Sequelae means a sequel, like a secondary health challenge that follows the primary health challenge. Many of the things that we suffer from or that we complain about or that we consider our health issues, health challenges, are sequelae. That is, they're secondary. They're sequels. Like in a movie, you have a sequel that follows the original movie. Sequelae means a sequel, that is a health challenge that's a sequel to the primary health challenge, the original health challenge. And the reason this is important is there's two reasons why this is important. Number one, you can't really address the sequelae without addressing the primary health challenge. And this accounts for a lot of disappointment, and it accounts for a lot of misunderstandings about the importance of nutrition, not just among us, among average everyday folks, but also among doctors and healthcare professionals who will say things like oh, that vitamin C isn't going to help you any. We tested vitamin C for heart disease and it didn't work. Well, that's not how nutrients work. Nutrients address the overall health of the body. And this is what I want to emphasize. We should be focusing on the overall health of the body and let the body deal with the sequelae. Now, in addition to just general health measures we should be taking, eating right, exercising, getting enough sleep, breathing, all things we know we should be doing, there are two major points of bodily breakdown that underlie all health challenges. Now, you know, I always talk about the triangle of disease. The triangle of disease are 3 points of bodily breakdown that underlie all health challenges. But in the interest of simplification, and I'm all about simplifying. One of the greatest compliments I ever get from people is that, oh, Ben, you simplify things. You make things easier to understand. And I love that because health should be easy to understand. We have to get this idea out of our heads that you need to have a medical degree, that you need to be a scientist, that you need to somehow be a healthcare expert in order to understand the basics of the body. It's not true, and it accounts for a lot of health misery. And, you know, I tease Rebecca about the disclaimer she does, and I understand that there needs to be a disclaimer because we're not supposed to be making claims, and there's a very good reason for not making claims to cure disease, but you don't need to make a claim to cure a disease in order to help you, yourself, or your patient, or your client, or your loved one get better. Now, the 3 points of triangle on the triangle of disease, which underlie all health challenges, all of them that are chronic, as you all know, because we talked about this many times, are the digestive system, the blood sugar system, and what I call the adrenal thyroid complex. The adrenal thyroid complex is the tip of the triangle. And from that point, you jump off to every single chronic health disease, from cancer to acne to arthritis to heart disease to autoimmunity to Parkinson's and neurological issues, all of them from the point of the adrenal thyroid complex. Once the adrenal glands, which are your stress management glands, kick in, either because of physiologic stress, because of chronic inflammation, or mental and psychological stresses, or the combination thereof, it's a very short time before the thyroid starts to slow down. So hyperadrenal, hyperstress, if you like, activity eventually will slow down the thyroid. Hypothyroidism, as Dr. Broda Barnes wrote in his book back in the 1980s or 1970s, is the hidden cause of all health challenges. What Dr. Barnes didn't do, he very astutely understood that hypothyroidism is behind everything from skin problems to heart problems to immune problems to neurological problems. He understood this, even though nobody's talking about it, and it was a very nice advance. But what he didn't say is that the hypothyroidism itself follows or is secondary to or is a sequelae of other points. So what I want to talk about today is not even addressing the tip of the triangle, the adrenal thyroid complex. All we need to do is work on the 2 bottom points of the triangle. This is how simple it is. And I'm talking about everything from male pattern baldness to cancer. Everything that is in the way of a chronic health challenge. We use the term chronic degenerative disease, CDD. You may hear, you'll see the acronym CDD. Chronic degenerative disease means chronic. It's occurring all the time. It never goes away. Degenerative. It's a condition that degenerates. It gets worse over time, which is the exact opposite of how the body should be operating. The body is a regenerating system. So when we have a health challenge, 90% or close to 90% of the health dollars spent, the trillions of dollars we spend in this country on health issues, are spent on CDD, chronic degenerative disease, as opposed to trauma or perhaps infection. Everything that's not trauma or infection is a CDD, chronic degenerative disease. Chronic all the time, degenerated, it gets worse. Those are the 2 key terms to understand. This is a violation of how the body works. And that means that something has gone wrong in 2 systems. That's the digestive system and the blood sugar system. That is the way we process food and the way we produce energy. The digestive system and the blood sugar system. There is nothing, zippo, not a single health challenge that will not start to improve once you work on those 2 points. And that should be such good news to anybody who's dealing with a health challenge, because all you got to do is, number 1, work with food. That means a food diary. That means watching out for problem foods. And don't necessarily, the bad foods are the bad foods. Nobody needs donuts and nobody needs French fries and nobody needs potato chips. But as I've said so many times, and it bears repeating, avocados can be a problem for some people. Brussels sprouts can be a problem for some people. Lettuce can be a problem for some people. You can't just go by the donuts and gluten-free. Oh, I hear so many people, excuse me, I have so many people tell me, oh, I still have my psoriasis, but I'm gluten-free. It doesn't matter if you're gluten-free. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And if you have smoke in your house, you don't ignore it because you say, oh, I had fireproofing put in. so I can't have a problem. You don't say that. You say there's smoke. There must be a fire. I don't care if there's fireproofing in there. There's a fire. If you have a health challenge, which always involves inflammation, you have a digestive problem. If you have inflammation, which is a defensive response, you have an offending agent. That's not medical. That's not science. That's logic. If you have a defensive response, which is what inflammation is, you have an offending agent. Now, it's true that if you're injecting things through the skin, you can have an inflammatory response, and you can have a long-term problem if you're injecting things through your skin long-term. And we know that, crack addicts and meth addicts and heroin addicts have many of the same problems, including autoimmune problems and inflammatory problems and skin problems that people who have digestive issues have. But for most of us, most of our clients, most of the people we know, that's not going to be the issue. The only other way, and again, I want you to think logically here. This is not medical. This is not science. The only logical way that you can have a defensive response, which is what inflammation is, which is the calling card of the immune system, which is behind all chronic degenerative disease, is if something is getting into the blood, and if it's not through the skin, it has to be through the intestine. There's no other way. No other way. And this is not to beat anybody up for their food choices. This is to give people power over their inflammatory or defensive response or health challenge. And so number one, you look for problem foods. And before you look for problem foods, you write everything down in a book or a diary. I call it a food diary, a food journal. If you're a medical professional, you're supposed to chart. If you're a police, you work for the police department, if you're a detective and there's a crime, you write everything down in a notebook. You don't use your memory. The cop doesn't, when somebody breaks into your car, he's not going to remember what you told him. He's writing things down. Physicians and nurses, when you go to the hospital, they write things on the chart. You don't work with your memory. You write things down. And it helps if you fast first. Why? Because the brain only notices things that are different. If you have gas every time you have beans, you may not even know it. It may have been your whole life and you just don't even know. Your friends may know, but you may not know, right? And what I'm saying is these kinds of things go under the radar, but when you fast and then start it again, they become more profound, more dramatic, more obvious to you. So it always helps to fast. Another thing a fast does is if you have, say, just to pick a random health challenge, we'll pick Parkinson's disease, but you can plug in your favorite health challenge, heart disease or fibromyalgia or reproductive health challenge, whatever it is. When you fast, you will notice your symptoms improve. Why? Because now a stream of toxins that's initiating the inflammatory response has ceased, has stopped. So a fast will give your patients relief, and it will make their symptoms more dramatic, their digestive symptoms more dramatic when they start eating again. So fast, do a food diary, write everything in a book or in the diary, and then notice. So you eat a food and then you write down how you feel. You eat a food, you write down how you feel. You can write down how you feel every hour, every couple hours, every day. The more granular you get, the more powerful your information will be. But if you don't have time to do it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, do it once a day. I ate corn, I bloated. I had burritos, I broke out. I had gluten, I was forgetful, I had memory problems, whatever it is. Over time, the course of a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and this is really an ongoing project, people will notice things. They'll say, oh my gosh, my favorite foods are causing pain. Every time I eat the foods that I love the most, I break out. My psoriasis gets worse. My brain fog gets worse. My pain becomes more acute. And this is very powerful information for a couple of reasons. Number one, it shows your patient the impact of their life choices on their health challenges. Otherwise, people don't know. Oh my God, I'm breaking out. What the heck's going on? Oh my God, I got more psoriasis. What the heck's going on? Oh my God, I can't sleep. Oh my God, my tremors are worse. It's this sense of disempowerment that leads to the frustration that causes us to just have our organs taken out or have or be put on drugs or go to the hospital. It's this sense of disconnection from the impact of our life choices on our health challenges. So this whole idea of doing a food diary and connecting it with your symptoms, connecting foods with your symptoms, gives us power. It shows the patient, or us if we're doing it for ourselves, the impact of what we're doing on our health challenges. And that is extremely important. Now, then obviously you start to eliminate problem foods and you're going to start to feel better. The second step, and there's lots of ways to do to support digestive health in addition to eliminating problem foods, but that's the most important. Probiotics are going to be important. Whey protein, glutamine can be important. Calorie restriction can be important. There's a lot of strategies, but most importantly, have your patient see the connection between foods and their symptoms, and then eliminate those foods. The second thing is the blood sugar system. Now, this is very complex, but it's also very powerful. Digestion is powerful because, well, for two reasons. Number one, toxicity getting into the body is going to initiate a defensive response. And number two, inflammation at the level of the intestine will compromise nutrient absorption. So now you got a 1-2 punch at the level of the intestine where you're getting toxicity that's getting into the bloodstream and you're not absorbing your vitamins and your essential fatty acids and your minerals and your aminos. So now you're nutritionally deficient, essentially for some people starving, on top of having toxicity. That's the digestive system. The blood sugar system is critical for, number one, obviously, for helping the body handle sugar, which gives us energy. But number two, because there is a major interaction between the blood sugar system, which includes insulin, which is the hormone that helps us handle sugar, and hormones, and cortisol, and estrogen, and serotonin, and testosterone, and thyroid hormone. There is a major link, and as you probably all know, the hormones are what control everything. So for people who have an estrogen issue or a testosterone issue or a thyroid issue or a cortisol issue, without working at the blood sugar system and on the blood sugar system and insulin, you can't work on the hormones. And this is what accounts for the dissatisfaction people have with their thyroid hormones and their female hormones and their male hormones and all the pharmaceutical remedies that they get for these things. There's this tremendous sense of dissatisfaction around hormone health and this frustration because underneath the fruit of the hormone tree, the various fruits of the hormone tree, you have roots and soil which are based in insulin and blood sugar. To compound this, to make it even worse, once you have a messed up digestive system, it's very easy to have your blood sugar system and your thyroid thrown off. That's why I call this the triangle, because they lead to each other. So you work on the digestive system, that alone will help your blood sugar and your insulin, but you got to work on the blood sugar and the insulin by itself. Obviously, the most important thing to do is low carb, low sugar. We eat way too much sugar and way too many carbs. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have low energy because of our malnourishment at the level of the intestine. So restricting your intake or limiting your intake of carbs and refined carbs especially, and sugar is critical for the blood sugar system and the insulin system. Now we talk about lowering your carbs. There are carbs that come from vegetables that are important. So it's mostly the cereal grains, the breads and the pastas and the rices and anything that you get that's processed in a bag, the chips and the cereals, the breakfast cereals especially. These are all very hard on the body in terms of the sugar system and the insulin system. So eating more protein, we'll talk about a really great way to do that here in just a sec. Eating more fat, quality fat. There's never, ever, ever any reason to eat fat that is fried and processed. Doc has been talking about this for decades. There's never any health reason or health benefit to eating a fried or processed fat. And most of the fats we eat are fried and processed, deep fried fats especially. Now, if you want to, just to show you how interrelated everything is, one of the worst things for your intestinal health is fried and processed fats. So the more French fries you're eating, or potato chips, or burritos, or pizza, whatever kind of fried fat you're eating, the worse your inflammatory, intestinal inflammation is going to be, and leaky gut is going to be. So working on the blood sugar system is very, very important. Eating more protein and eating quality fat. Your ultimate EFAs are a hero formulation. Luckily, it's part of the Healthy Start Pack. So as long as people are on the Healthy Start Pack, they're going to get the ultimate EFAs, but you can always use more. Doc tells people to take 9 or 12 a day. You could do 15 or 18 a day. So 9 is a great place to be with your essential fats. Quality fats can be found in foods as well. Eggs are one of the all-time great foods for quality fats. Avocados, fatty fish, organ meats, these all provide quality fats. You don't want to cook your eggs or cook your fish or cook your organ meats too much because you will destroy the fats, but these are all good sources of quality fats in addition to the ultimate EFAs. The reason I wanted to get on here and talk about this is because we want to stop overthinking our health challenges and cut to the chase, the beginnings, the soil, the root of our disease tree, which is at the level of the digestive system and the blood sugar system. Now, there is the third point in the triangle of disease, but because it's a triangle and they're all connected, once you take care of the digestive system and the blood sugar system, the adrenal glands will start to relax. Now, you might have to throw in some emotional or stress management, psychological stress management protocols or strategies. That's true. But once you reduce the inflammation that's coming in through the digestive system and through what's called dysglycemia or messed up blood sugar, the adrenal glands will calm down just from that. Slow, deep breathing, meditation, relaxation strategies, getting enough sleep. These are all very important, but just those 2 points on the triangle of disease will take you 80% of the way towards reducing or even hopefully eliminating your symptoms for whatever your chronic degenerative disease is. And quickly. This will all happen quickly. I heard, Rebecca, you were talking about liver disease yesterday. I was listening to the Daily with Doc show, and it came out that, it takes a while to notice things. It takes a while to resolve the problem completely, but it doesn't take a while to start to notice results, especially if you have a lot of symptoms. And this is the great gift of the human body, is the sicker we are, the faster we turn it around. Yes, it's true. If you're really sick, it's going to take you longer to completely eliminate it, but you'll notice results quickly. And some of our patients have a laundry list of things that are going wrong with them because nobody's been addressing it for decades sometimes. So for some of our patients who have a laundry list of a long list of stuff that's going wrong, they can start to notice results in 24 to 48 hours. And you better believe that feedback from the changes that they're making that we're recommending to people is so powerful and so empowering that it can be life-changing. Just in 2 days, people could say, oh my God, I have more benefits from these 2 days of being on Beyond Tangy Tangerine and fasting and taking care of my digestive system and my blood sugars than I did for years of being on prescription medication. So don't underestimate the power of these 2 points, and it's so simple. Reduce your intake of food, do a food diary, control your blood sugar by going low carb. And of course, there's wonderful nutritional supplements for the digestive system. We have the Healthy Digestion Pack. We got the Ultimate Microbiome. We got the Nightly Essence, the Ultimate Enzymes, I-26 for killing bacteria in the intestine. For the blood sugar system, we've got the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, and we've got the Ultimate Niacin, we've got the MSM. There's so many great supplements that you could take, and these are all life-changing once you understand the impact of the triangle, and especially the first 2 points of the triangle on health challenges and chronic disease. So everybody out there listening, if you're a young distributor or if you're somebody who's dealing with a health condition, digestion and blood sugar, digestion and blood sugar. It's not because I'm a one-trick pony. It's not because I'm some kind of hippy-dippy Mr. Organic guy. It's because this is how the body is put together. And we run the risk, I know we do, but we have to really get past this, of sounding cliche, of sounding like we're talking in memes and in jargon when we talk about the digestive system. Oh yeah, I know, I've got to eat right. I got to eat the four food groups. Yeah, I know, I got to change the way I eat. Oh yeah, I know I should reduce my sugar. I'm eating too much sweets, too much sugar. This is not jargon. It's not a meme. This is powerful, powerful biochemical information that will allow you to transform your health challenges in very short order. Digestion and blood sugar. If you want to go all three, go all the way around, you could do the adrenals and the thyroid, but you don't need to. The body will take care of it if you do work on the digestive system and the blood sugar system. And I wanted to really reinforce that because I get calls and letters every day from people who don't know this, and they think they've got a problem with their teeth, and they think they've got a problem with their with tremors or movement disorders, and they think they've got a problem with their psoriasis or their autoimmune disease, and they want help for their psoriasis or autoimmune disease, and I've got to go back to the digestive system and back to the blood sugar system. And for people who aren't on these calls or don't hear me speaking or hear you guys speaking, they're like, well, I've got Parkinson's. Why would I want to take care of my bowel movements? Well, there's no Parkinson's without an intestinal problem. And interestingly, now the medical model is catching on to all of this. And if you Google Parkinson's and movement disorders and tremors and intestinal health, you'll get all kinds of articles explaining the rationale or proving via clinical studies everything that myself and Dr. Wallach have been talking about for decades. Don't wait for the medical model to validate what we're saying. Just understand the logic of things getting into the body, initiating an inflammatory and immune response, the blood sugar system interacting with all of the other hormone systems in the body. Once you work on those 2 points, you'll go a long way to resolving all chronic degenerative health challenges. So that's that. Second thing I want to say is I want to give a shout out. You see this? I don't know if you can see this.
I see TMR. Oh, right there.
This stuff is awesome. This stuff is awesome.
There we go. Now we can see it. TMR. It's amazing.
TMR. This stuff rocks. It's a good source of protein, but it's got a lot of other nutrients in it as well, which is why it's called a meal replacement. And it's especially important for, number one, people dealing with intestinal problems, because this TMR allows you to get nutrition without a lot of digestive processing and high amounts of nutrition, concentrated nutrition without a lot of digestive processing. And it also has nutrients that are specific for the digestive system. Then it's also helps stabilize the blood sugar system. Eating more protein is a great way to stabilize your blood sugar system. The body can derive energy from protein in a slow release fashion. The reason sugar is so deleterious, and so harmful to the body, is it releases into the body very quickly. You may have heard of the term glycemic index. The sugars that we love the most have a high glycemic index, meaning they get into the bloodstream really quickly. This is especially true about liquid sugar, excuse me, soda pop, or even fruit juice. These liquid sugars go right into the system. They have a very high glycemic index. Protein gives you slow release of sugar, slow energy, slow burning energy, and the TMR is great for that. The second thing I want to talk about was one of my favorite non-essential nutritional, or actually foods, that is almost, it's like a nutritional supplement. It's so powerful. And that's colostrum, which is first milk. Colostrum is the first stuff that the mother cow, or even the mother human, will produce out of the mammary glands as soon as the baby is born. So it's like a super, super concentrated, nutritionally concentrated form of milk. Milk is a building substance, obviously. Most people know that. It's made to build a mammal. But colostrum is the first milk that comes out, and it's super concentrated, and it's especially important for the intestine. And because it's especially important for the intestine, by the way, it's important for the intestine because in mammals, the intestine is not fully developed when the baby is born, when the mammal is born. whether the mammal's a cow or a goat or a sheep or a human. So nature has set up a system where breast milk will help feed and sustain the microbiome in the bacteria and the tissue of the intestine. This is a big problem for women who are delivering cesarean section, or women who are not able to breastfeed, or who don't breastfeed, or who don't breastfeed their babies long enough. Those are babies who will be compromised at the level of the intestine. The headquarters of the immune system is the intestine. So once you have intestinal problems, you're going to have immune problems, then you get leaky gut, and you're off to the disease races. Colostrum contains not only nutrients for building the intestine, not only nutrients for supporting the health of the microbiome, but immune boosting substances. One of the most important of the immune boosting substances that's in colostrum, or also in mother's milk, is something called lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is a powerful immune boosting substance, antimicrobial substance, completely non-toxic. It's so powerful, it's actually part of the COVID protocol. And when celebrities or big shot politicians or very wealthy people go in to get COVID treatments, they get lactoferrin, which is in colostrum as well as in ordinary milk, mother's milk. Now, colostrum does have some milk proteins in there, so if you have a milk allergy, you may not be able to use colostrum. There's a little bit of lactose in colostrum, so if you're lactose intolerant, you may have a problem with colostrum. So you have to see how you do. We have a couple really neat products that have colostrum in them to leverage the antimicrobial properties of the colostrum, and that is the Killer Biotic and the Immune 911. Both of them have a small amount of colostrum. The purpose is to leverage or take advantage of the non-toxic immune boosting and antimicrobial properties of the colostrum. I still recommend that you do colostrum powder just regularly, not every day, at least regularly, but you can get some colostrum benefits by using the Killer Biotic and the Immune 911. And one of them, I forgot, has another really neat supplement, another neat nutrient. I forgot it was I think it was the Killer Biotic, actually, as I'm thinking here. And that's called beta-cytosterol. Beta-cytosterol is extremely valuable for the prostate in men. It also has some cholesterol-lowering properties, but really effective for male prostate issues. And you'll get that in the Killer Biotic, even though that's not marketed as a prostate product, obviously, but it can help men who have prostate issues. All right, so 3 things: digestive system, blood sugar system. It sounds trite, it sounds simple. It's not simplistic. It might be simple, but it's not simplistic. It's powerful for everybody who's dealing with a health challenge, for people who feel like health is too complicated, they have to go to the doctor, it's too much for them to understand. Digestive system, blood sugar system. Secondly, TMR, not only for digestive health and for blood sugar health, but for people who want to lose weight, for people who want to have some extra nutrition for their breakfast or for a snack. Tastes awesome, by the way. And then it's also important just for overall health, even if you don't have a health challenge, just if you want to stay strong, or if you don't, not necessarily for weight loss, just if you want to stay strong. Especially valuable for people, for elderly people. Especially valuable, by the way, for people who are either in the hospital or in nursing homes. Now, in the hospital or nursing home, and I don't know if you've been to a hospital or nursing home, but you know that the food ain't great. In fact, the food is very often anti-nutrition. So giving your loved one or yourself or somebody you know who's in the hospital or in a nursing home TMR can be a lifesaver. It can add years to somebody's life. So especially for frail people, for people who are in the hospital, or for folks who are in nursing homes, the TMR can be very valuable. And then the colostrum, first milk, all-around nutritional supplement, especially important for building things, for the intestine, and for the immune system, and for inflammation. Okay, so I hope that was not too confusing. I hope I simplified health a little bit. Everybody who has a health challenge, focus on the digestive system and the blood sugar system, and then move forward from there. All right. So I will, if we have questions, I'm happy to entertain them. If you have questions about anything we just talked about, that's great. Or if you have other questions, I'd love to help you out with whatever health challenges you may have.
So Ben, we have a whole line of questions. Do you have a hard stop in 17 minutes?
A little bit after 17 minutes, maybe 23 minutes or 22 minutes.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for all of that information. And folks, we overcomplicate health. Maybe we don't, but we are part of a system that overcomplicates health, where it really is simple. You have to be intentional, though, and consistent. And that's just making sure the body's not getting the things that's causing the damage and getting things that the body needs to be able to generate and regenerate the way it was designed. So thank you so much for that, Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. Give a big old, you get a standing ovation. If I could stand and give you a standing ovation, have it still look good, I'd do it. But folks, I want to remind everybody, he mentioned the triangle of health, right? It's a triangle of health, triangle of disease. Triangle of disease, or there's the square of health. But you search our channels, the Critical Health News channel, whether on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Brighteon, Instagram, Telegram, or not Telegram, but Twitter, all these different locations. You can search either the Critical Health News channel or the Daily with Doc channel for the triangle of disease, square of nutrition, and be able to plug into those presentations and get deeper into some of the things that he just spoke about. But don't make it overcomplicated. Keep it simple. And I do want to say hello and thank you, Charles, who is out on Twitter, for reposting our show. You are part of spreading the message. And that is what we're hoping that more and more people do, is taking and sharing this program, whatever episode it may be, with those who are following them as well, so that we can spread the information and create a bigger impact in helping people find that they are empowered. Don't let things take your power away. I also want to do a shout out to all of our followers on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, our numbers are really high right now, which I'm so excited about, Ben. And I don't want to forget KSCO listeners, KOMY listeners, any radio station that you are listening on. We want to know where you're at. So please go to our website, use that contact option, and send us a message. Let us know what channel, what station you're listening to, so that we can send them a thank you as well. And because we're also on iHeart and Vimeo, Spotify, Brighteon, Apple TV, Roku. Pharmacist Ben, let's get some questions.
Okay.
Let's do it. The first hand that we have up is Anne. Anne, go ahead and unmute yourself. Welcome to the Daily with Doc and Pharmacist Friday.
Okay, there I am. All right, Pharmacist Ben, I just wanted to thank you. About a month or two ago, you had recommended Dr. Conaway's book.
Yes.
So I got it.
That's
and
awesome.
I read it. And I contacted her on Facebook, and she sent me her 20-day protocol for a gut reset. And I did it, and it's fabulous. It's like, I have been lactose intolerant for years. And yesterday I ate a piece of cheese and it was fabulous.
There you go. There you go. And by the way, I know I talk about digestion a lot, but excuse me, Dr. Conaway knows more. She's forgotten more about digestion than I'll ever know. So we are very, very lucky to have Dr. Joanna Conaway, among other healthcare professionals, Dr. Wallach and Randy Shannon, and a whole bunch of other folks. But Dr. Conaway, she's brilliant when it comes to the digestive system, comes to digestive health. So really take advantage of her. And it's a wonderful book. Congratulations, Anne. That's great news.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Conaway's book is great. You can get it on Amazon. What's the name? Show the book on the camera, Ann.
So I have it up here, and it's Why is America So Sick?
Yeah.
By Dr. Joanne Conaway. You can go to her website to get her book. Just do a search for Dr. Joanne Conaway, and she's going to be a guest on our program, and we are going to be going deeper into the connection between the digestive system and the brain.
Absolutely.
So,
There's a very important relationship between the two for a lot of reasons. And really, it's so fascinating how the digestive system interacts with the rest of the body and how a toxicity gets into the bloodstream, whether it's things like histamine or something called LPSs or bacterial toxins. It's crazy fascinating how it's related to the reproductive system and female health issues and the brain and the immune system. But you don't need to know all that stuff. You just need to know you got to work on the digestive system. If you're interested in it, it is endlessly fascinating. And you can go down a rabbit hole that you never come out of once you start getting into it. And it really is, it's quite interesting, but you don't need to know it, and your patients don't need to know it. Food diary, take care of the intestinal health, elimination diet, etc., and almost everything will start to improve, especially if you throw in the blood sugar support.
yes.
Thank you,
And we
Ann.
do have yes, thank you so much, Ann. I love testimonials, but we do have so many questions, folks. If we don't get to your question, please email us questions@dailywithdoc.com or give us a call at 855-949-3377. Our next hand, Phyllis, what questions do you have for us today?
Well, I feel like with this show, Ben already answered those questions, but I'll ask them anyway. We have Emma. Her daughter is 16 years old. She's an athlete, and she gets tonsil stones frequently, which I'd never even heard of. What can she do?
Yeah, excuse me. Stones can form in all kinds of parts of the body. There's gallbladder stones, there's kidney stones, you got stones in your tear duct, stones in the tonsil. Stones are a sign of saturated blood or saturated lymph in the case of the tonsils. If you take salt and you take a glass of water and you put a teaspoon of salt in the glass of water, the salt will dissolve, and you'll still have a glass of water with some salt in it. You take another teaspoon, the salt will dissolve, and again, you'll have a glass of water. You won't be able to see the salt, but eventually you're going to put a teaspoon of salt in, and it's going to precipitate. In other words, the water can't handle any more salt. We say that's saturated. We say the solution is saturated, or some people say supersaturated. That saturation or supersaturation of the glass of water with salt is analogous to the saturation that can occur in the blood and in the lymph when toxicity builds up. So stone formation, whether it's in the kidneys or whether it's in the gallbladder, whether it's in the tonsils, wherever it is a sign that the fluid can't handle any more salt. It's saturated. So then the question is how does fluid how does salt or toxins get into the blood or the lymph in the case of the tonsils? Where do you think? Food.
Yes.
Always food. Tonsillectomies are the number one surgical procedure, the most common surgical procedure that occurs in kids. Why? Because kids are eating foods that they have problems with, especially dairy. So for this gal with is this a person on the call? Is she here?
She's not, no.
Okay. So I'm guaranteeing you, this is a person, this 16-year-old is a person who has had digestive problems probably her whole life. When you have issues with a 16-year-old, usually the 16-year-old should be in the prime of their life. They shouldn't have any issues. That's almost a guarantee that something's been going on for a long time. Because she's 16, there's not a lot of stuff that she's been doing. So that eliminates smoking and drugs and other things that she might be doing, and it kind of narrows the scope of the toxicity issue to foods. It's always going to be foods in general, but you don't have to worry about confounding variables because she's only got 16 years on planet Earth. However, for this to be occurring, this is pretty significant. That means that she has a dramatic problem, not a mild problem, a dramatic problem, which means she's got to notice it. Now, by the way, I should have said this before. I'll say this now. A lot of times people will tell you they don't have any digestive problems, even though they've got all the Parkinson's or the immune issues or the skin issues or whatever it is. They'll say, oh, my digestion's fine. Remember, where there's smoke, there's fire. So once you understand this, the relationship of the digestive system to biochemistry in general, as what's called a first principle. In philosophy and in science, we have this idea called first principles. A first principle is something that you take as true and you just assume it. And then you work deductively from that first principle. Deductive reasoning is when you have a first principle and then you get all of the things associated with that first principle, as opposed to inductive reasoning where you have a bunch of pieces and then you construct a theory out of the bunch of pieces. This is how medicine works. Medicine likes to induce theories. The problem with that is you can't always account. You don't know all the variables. So the theory that you induce from your variables is always going to be incomplete. Deductive reasoning is working the other way around. You start with a first principle, and then you work with, you derive facts from that first principle. First principle for healing is digestion first, then blood sugar. That's a first principle. And then you deduce all of the ideas, the helpful ideas from that first principle. First principle is it's digestion. She has a problem with her tonsils. We're going to work with her digestive system. You can validate this by asking her. She may say, I don't know, or I don't have any digestive problems. Don't take that as an answer. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Once you accept the first principle, if she's got a health challenge, it's related to the digestive system. That's why food diary is so important, so she can see. Also, sometimes people aren't necessarily dishonest or ignorant. They may just not know that heartburn is a digestive issue. They may not know that the bloating is a digestive issue. They may not know that symptoms that are related to the digestive system or to foods are symptoms. So you got to kind of probe and you got to kind of explain a little bit as well. But tonsil stones should be regarded as a digestive health issue, like all stone issues.
Excellent. My second question is from VJ. He is on the call. His son has autism. He's nonverbal and he constantly stims, which I learned is repetitive behavior.
How old is the kid?
That I don't know, and maybe he can raise his hand. Yes, that's all that we know. I believe he's a younger boy.
Okay, so there's a major connection between autism and
in fact, bear with me. He just raised his hand. Becca, it's iPhone 14.
I'm not having the option to ask them
Hi,
to there we
can
go.
you, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yeah.
VJ.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question. My son is 10 years old.
10. Okay.
Yeah. So he's nonverbal and he has that repetitive behavior, and his concentration period is very less. He learns by watching through his eyes, and but I feel like he's too much in the spectrum.
VJ,
And
VJ, I didn't hear you say his age.
10 years.
Okay, so and he's had it since he was a baby.
Sorry?
He's had it since he was a baby, since he was
Yes,
born.
we diagnosed it from 2 years, when he was 2 years.
All right, here's what you're going to do, okay? Number one, there is a major relationship, surprise, surprise, between the intestine and autism, intestinal health and autism. So immediately start to look for digestive symptoms, constipation, bloating, gas, loose stools, any kind of digestive discomfort. Now, he may have had this his whole life, so he may not know. If he's 10 years old, he may have had bloating and discomfort since he was born, and to him, it's normal. So he may not know. Plus, if he's nonverbal, it's going to be hard for him to explain, so you have to be vigilant. You have to watch, okay? Number two, get them on digestive support, get them on the nightly essence, the probiotics, the nightly essence probiotics. And then also you might want to throw in the I-26. Number 3.
What is I-26?
It's a powder that kills excess bacteria in the small intestine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And VJ, you and I can talk about that later.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
3, VJ,
Mm-hmm.
get a book called The Gut and Psychology Syndrome. It's a classic book about autism and intestinal health. And you want to read it by Dr. Natasha Kinsky-Campbell. Everybody out there should read that who's interested in the relationship between the digestive system and the brain. Okay, so it's now recognized that autism is an intestinal issue. This should come as no surprise to anybody who's on this call based on what we just said. But your doctor, it's very likely your physician doesn't know. Naturopaths know about this. So the gut and psychology, start reading the Gut and Psychology Syndrome. Watch for foods that cause problems or that make his autism worse when he flares up. By the way, you guys, flare-ups are awesome. Whether they're flare-ups in pain or whether flare-ups in autism symptoms or flare-ups in cardiovascular symptoms or tremors, whatever it is, because flare-ups give you real-time information on what you just did. So when he flares up, what did he just eat? When your boy flares up, ask yourself or see what he just ate. Okay, and you'll see a relationship. You might want to start doing a charting in a diary, and then get the book, The Gut and Psychology Syndrome, and use the I-26 and the Nightly Essence, in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, of course. Everybody, when I talk about individual supplements, that's in addition to the Healthy Start Pack. And he can do like one, if he can take capsules, he can do an ultimate EFA or maybe even 2 ultimate EFAs.
Yeah, so when he was diagnosed, I mean, we did do a biomedical treatment for, like 3 to 4 years, like stopped his gluten intake. We gave probiotics and, we did everything we could, but still did
it help?
We did not see,
Did it help?
Not much. No, not
Okay, then
much.
there's something else, and you got to keep looking. Remember, gluten, everybody, VJ, everybody, gluten is one of 1,000 different things. So this idea of gluten is definitely, gluten can be a problem for a lot of people, and there's no doubt about it. But there's 1,000 other things that could be a problem. And so when we focus on gluten, sometimes we forget that there's all these other things, and we say, oh, I just did gluten and there's nothing happened. Well, there's things, like I say, eggplant can be a problem for some people, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, tomatoes, anything that's alive can potentially be a problem for activating the immune system. Autism is an inflammatory health challenge that always begins at the level of the intestine. So you can, if you did strategies and they didn't help, continue. Don't give up.
Do you have any do you have any particular supplements that can help him? Because one of my friend, he referred me to you, saying like they also have a child with autism and it really helped them. So they referred you.
I'm not sure what he did, but Phyllis, if you want to do a 3-way with VJ, we can do a 3-way with VJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And get that book, VJ, The Gut and Psychology Syndrome, Dr. Natasha Kinsky-Campbell.
Okay.
Thank you, VJ.
Thank you, Ben. Back to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Man, great questions. And if I can find myself here, we've got a quick question wanting to know, is it okay for children to fast?
It depends on how old. Children don't really need to fast. Children haven't accumulated enough toxicity for that to be for fasting to be necessary. Nonetheless, it is going to hurt them to fast for a day. But it's not as important for children as it is for older folks. Now, if the kid has seizures, fasting is actually a strategy for dealing with seizure disorders, as is the ketogenic diet. So, but under ordinary circumstances, it's not important for kids to fast. Kids are in have a different biochemical status than us old farts.
Okay. And another question in regards to fasting is somebody says that I have been told to take my Healthy Body Start Pack with food. How can I fast and still take my supplements?
Under ordinary circumstances, the supplements are like the active ingredients in foods. So once you have foods in your body or in your digestive system, all the digestive machinery has kicked in. the enzymes, the stomach acid, the various hormones at the level of the intestine, the pancreatic juices, etc. So that makes it easier to process your nutrients. Nonetheless, fasting for a day and taking your supplements on an empty stomach is not going to be the end of the world. You'll still get the benefit. Or skipping the supplements for a day isn't the end of the world either. The most important thing about the supplements and fasting is you want to give your body less work to do. The digestive system requires energy in order to do its digestive work. That is energy that is not being spent on healing or on growing or on brain health or heart health or on repair. So what you're doing, you're fasting, is you're taking the resources that would ordinarily be spent on digesting and redirecting them to other things. Also, when you fast, you're not, if you have an issue where toxicity is getting into the bloodstream through the digestive system via food, that's going to stop. So you're going to feel better. But as far as supplements go, taking a day off from supplements or taking your supplements on an empty stomach is not going to be the end of the world.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Rosemary wants to know about the TMR shake and how many times a day can you take it?
As much as you want. And the only issue is it's so tasty, you may just be doing your TMR shake. It is really, really, I'm telling you, that is super tasty. Just to give you a little, just the way I do it, almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and a quarter of a banana. Oh my God, it is so delicious. You wouldn't believe. You don't necessarily need the almond milk or the banana. You just do it in water. But with almond milk and a banana, it's like dessert. And you're not, I sometimes have to stop myself from doing it to keep doing it because I don't want to run out of my TMR shake. But you can do as much as you want.
All right, I'm gonna try it because I have TMR shake and I have bananas. So thanks for choosing my lunch for me.
Okay.
Go to Siobhan. Go ahead and unmute. And I hope I said your name right.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi, Siobhan.
Yes.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for taking my call. I know
Sure.
I'm running late here.
Yes.
I'll try to make it quick. I have been told I have mid-range macular degeneration, not early, not late.
Mid-range, what kind of degeneration? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Macular degeneration.
Okay, gotcha.
I was told it was dry. That was last year. I haven't had it checked since then. And I noticed that the lines were getting wavy. I started to take Occutive and had to up it to 3 a day to get the lines looking pretty normal. That's very expensive for me. And I also have lymphedema in my left leg and it swells up at the ankle. It's starting at the right as well. And so I'm wondering, are these things people keep telling me that they aren't curable, and I'm hoping that's not true.
Nothing is curable because the only people who say cure are magicians and witch doctors. Those are the only people who say cure. We don't say cure. Nothing cures. We reverse. Okay. Now, let's talk about the macular degeneration. And by the way, lymphedema is related, obviously, based on everything I've said. I don't know if you got on the call, if you're on the whole call, but based on everything we just talked about, this is the classic example. So you cannot address the macula. I'll tell you what about this with macular degeneration is here in a second. You cannot address the macula on its own. It follows its degeneration or regeneration, follow the blood. Okay? I want this to make sense. You can't address the macula on its own. If you go to an eye doctor, you are wasting your time and your money. There's nothing anyone can do to address the macula on its own. It is a sequel. It is a sequelae. It is secondary. Does it make sense, Siobhan? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So you got macular degeneration. The macula is the center part of your eye. What do you think? And Siobhan mentioned 2 kinds. There's dry and there's wet. So let's say you have dry macular degeneration or wet macular degeneration. Those are 3 words: dry macular degeneration or wet macular degeneration. Of those 3 words, Siobhan, what do you think is the most important word?
Degeneration?
You got it, baby.
Oh.
You have arthritis of the eye. You have osteoporosis of the eye. you have a degenerative condition, like arthritis is a degenerative condition, or like osteoporosis is a degenerative condition, or heart disease or vascular disease is a degenerative condition, except yours is in the eye. It's the same problem. It doesn't matter where the problem is, you guys, not just Siobhan, everybody. It doesn't matter where the problem is from a health perspective, or from a recovery perspective, or from a reversal perspective. It doesn't matter whether it's the macula or it's the joints. The degeneration is the problem. And the dry and the wet are irrelevant as well. It doesn't matter if it's dry or if it's wet. You're degenerating. You're breaking down. That means nutrients are not getting into the system, and inflammatory factors are. Okay, you with me? Now, the fact that you have lymphedema tells me that the lymph is congested. Lymphedema is when fluid starts to leak out of the lymph system. Your lymph is not moving correctly. What does the lymph do? It processes inflammatory factors and immune factors. It's your immune system. The lymph, no surprise, is connected to the intestine. Siobhan, approximately how old are you? I know I'm not supposed to ask you how old.
That's okay, 74.
Okay, I'm going to do a psychic reading on you. Ready? Here's my psychic reading. Siobhan, I'm seeing you now. You have had an intestinal problem for many, many years, right?
It's as though you've met me before.
Oh, no, I'm psychic. I'm psychic Ben.
Yes.
I've seen the intestine. It's
All right.
inflamed. No, I'm not a psychic. I'm a pharmacist. This is just how it works. You got it. I mean, it's just how it works. So you're not getting nutrients and you're getting toxins instead. You're not getting fed, but you're getting inflamed. It starts at the level of the intestine. Now, Siobhan, if you were in the back alley shooting up crack, I would say that it could be what you're shooting up, but you're not. So it has to be the intestine. If you had a vaccine, that could possibly do it too, by the way.
No, I did not.
Okay, well, that's another thing that happens when we get vaccinated, is we can have these kinds of problems. So leaving that aside, you got to work on intestinal health. Now, I can tell you supplements. I'm going to tell you some supplements to take, but as long as that intestine's inflamed, and as long as toxicity is getting into the bloodstream, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to nutriate you appropriately. So, and this will be our concluding call, because this is going to cover most everybody. Do a food diary. Siobhan, start writing down everything you eat and then how you feel after, especially around digestive health, obviously, like bloating, gas, heartburn, discomfort, nausea, anything, constipation, loose stools, all that. Do you have all your organs, by the way, Siobhan?
I do.
Okay. Are you on any medication?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Perfect. So do a food diary. You might want to fast for a day or two, and then do a food diary, and then write down all your problem foods, start eliminating those foods. Get yourself on some digestive support. I would get on the I-26, and I would also be on the nightly essence. See how you do on those. Then,
I was thinking the enzymes, are they?
and then the ultimate enzymes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely, Siobhan. And when you do the ultimate enzymes, it sometimes helps to do a little apple cider vinegar with the ultimate enzymes with your meals.
Okay.
Okay. Then you want to make sure you're getting lots of pigments. One of the Youngevity's great product is a pigment product that we never talk about, called the Ultimate Youth. Have you heard of that, Rebecca? The Ultimate
No,
Youth?
I haven't.
Okay, the Ultimate Youth is a pigment product. Pigments are very important for eye health. You can also get pigments from veggies by braising your veggies in butter. Your broccoli, your tomatoes, your eggplant, whatever veggies you like, the pigments in the veggies, the greens, the blues, the reds, they will go into your eyes and protect your eyes from the sun. I forgot to tell you, the macula, I think I said the macula is where it interacts with sunlight. So it's very prone to damage when the system is weak. Okay, so make sure you're on all the pigments, braise your pigments with veggies, and get on the Ultimate Youth, which is a pigment powder. Okay?
Yes.
Get on the healthy
I'm in a
start.
hot and bright climate. Is there anything I can do in particular, or just
Say that again. I didn't hear.
I'm in a very hot and sunny climate. Is there anything I should do in particular?
No,
Just
you mean for
continue
your
with,
eyes? Well, you don't want to be looking
yes,
right at the sun or anything, but
right.
you know,
Right,
but
okay.
but just being in the sun's not gonna hurt you. But you don't
Oh,
want to be getting
okay.
too much sun right in the eyes, sunglasses or something along those lines.
Right, okay.
And then the Occutive and the Vision FX have all the nutrients that are important for eye health. Occutive and the Vision FX. I would also throw in, if it was me, I would throw in the CFX and the Zinc FX, both of which are important for eye health.
Is there any quantity on any of this that you think is necessary?
Take on the I-26, you could do like a teaspoon. Did I tell you the I-26? I did say that, didn't I? I-26 for the gut. I
Yes,
did
you
say that.
did. You did.
I-26, a teaspoon or so a day, 1 to 2 teaspoons a day. Ultimate enzymes, 2 or 3 with your meals. The nightly essence, maybe 2 or 3 a day, and then the ultimate youth, a teaspoon a day. You can put it in a smoothie. And then also your healthy start pack as directed, maybe a half a scoop to a scoop every day of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Talk about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine next week, Rebecca. I want to talk about that one, how to dose that one. And then the Occutive, 1 or 2 capsules, and then the Vision FX, 1 or 2 capsules, and then the CFX, 1 or 2 capsules, and the Zinc FX, 1 or 2 capsules. Oh, also the Ultimate Selenium. Sorry about that. Ultimate Selenium, maybe 400 to 600 micrograms a day.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank
I
you
mean
so
to interrupt you there.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate this.
Thank you, Siobhan. And thank you,
Awesome.
Rebecca. And thank you, everybody.
Ben, Jill has one question and it is completely related to this topic. Do you have one more, 2 more
Yes.
minutes?
I'll take one
All
more for
right.
Jill. Only for
Jill.
Jill. Only for you, Jill. I wouldn't do it.
Hi, can you hear me? I
Yes.
took my
Yes,
headphones
ma'am.
off. Let me figure out how to hear you. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Jill.
Yes.
Yes. Excuse me. Hi, Jill.
Okay, hi. So I have 2 questions. I think I'm only going to ask the one. I think I'm going to ask the one because the other one might be too long.
Okay.
The first one is, what do you think about this craze with infusions? Everybody and their
IV
brother.
IV
Yes.
nutrition.
Yes.
I've been talking about that for years. It's unbelievable. It's just expensive and it's a little bit of a pain to do. But it's wonderful, especially if you have digestive health issues. If you're not absorbing, they're great. And infusions, you know, in pharmacy, we've been using them for years. And in the hospital, if you go to the hospital, they'll do thiamine and electrolytes right in your blood. It's very good for a quick dose of various nutrients. It's also great for people who have digestive health issues and they're not absorbing, malabsorption issues. But it is a little bit expensive and it also is a bit onerous.
Well, what about the people that just want to do that instead of taking nutrition?
You can't get everything you need that way. They'd have to
That's
do
why
it.
I'm asking
They'd
you.
have to do it multiple times. It's more like to top off your tank. It's more like to top off your tank. You want diets first, nutritional supplementation second, and if they want to top off their tank, IV nutrition. But it's not really practical to do IV nutrition as a regular way of getting your nutrition. It's a good way to top off your tank, though, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep, I do. Well, that's what I wanted to hear, what you had to say about that. I'm a little worried that my other one's too complicated. And I wouldn't mind, though, if I couldn't consult with you about it because,
Anybody can call me or contact me anytime you want.
okay, because she has some different kind of digestive health challenges. She has Crohn's and colitis, but she's also had a lot of surgeries done. And she's open to what I have to say, but I don't want to make a mistake. She's had a total pancreectomy and auto inlet transplantation.
All right. Well,
She's not only,
good news, bad news. How old is she, by the way?
I would say in her 30s.
Oh my gosh. Well, a couple things. First of all, she must have had some severe health challenges to be dealing with that much compromise, especially with the pancreas. So she's probably
She's had her stomach, she's had her part of her stomach and her duodenum
that means
and her
something's
liver bile ducts.
well, those are all very, very severe health challenges to overcome. However, remember I said, the sicker you are, the faster you can begin to turn it around. So somebody like that can notice results very quickly. As far as completely eliminating the getting her back to normal, that's not going to happen because she's now she's carved up. She's missing some organs, but we can definitely improve her life, and we can improve her quality of life.
The testimony of the person that came on here and did the 20-day gut protocol, and
Yeah.
it changed things for her. Do you think that's a
Yes.
good place to start?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'd love to talk to you if you want to do a three-way.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All
All
right.
right, thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right.
Becca,
Thank you.
you're awesome.
Thank you, Ben. You are awesome. And we've got Mark saying, Ben is a genius. So
No,
you're
I-
fantastic.
I don't take
though.
that. I don't take that on.
I know,
I'm just a
but
pharmacist.
you are a pharmacist with a voice that is just impacting individuals where they're
I
at, giving
appreciate
them
that.
more
And you know what?
hope.
I take that on. I'm very grateful, and I feel very validated. It's important to say, but I want everybody to understand, we can all do this. We can all make a difference in the world. And yes, we all want to make money. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all business people. We love it. We love it to have a successful business. We all are, that goes without saying, but we can help so many people. Don't underestimate what you know just by being on this call, just by spending the last hour on this call, let alone the multiple calls that we do in all the different ways that longevity improves our understanding of health and nutrition. We're the tip of the spear. The world needs us. As it says in Hosea, my people perish for lack of knowledge. We can change that. We can make a significant difference in the quality of life of our individual friends and neighbors and loved ones. And by virtue of that, we can make a huge difference in the quality of life of the planet. And Lord knows that is needed. Thank you.
That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. That's why so many of the people that have chosen to join this crusade with us are here, is because we know that there are options, and we want to make sure that other people understand that they can do it too. They've got options. So Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you
for sharing that knowledge. And as I get my co-hosts on the screen with me, we want to do a shout out to each and every one of them as a thank you for being here with us and helping to support this mission, because we couldn't do this program all by ourselves, Ben. Oh my goodness. We could. Actually, we could. I think I'd done it. It just was not fun. There was too many. It was crazy. But if it wasn't for Marilyn and Albert and Phyllis and Ruth Ellen and AJ, I would have a lot more gray hair than I do have. They use their talents, and together we make work light, not quite as stressful, so that we can reach more and more people. And there's much room at our table, right? So we've done a opportunity meeting with Pharmacist Ben, also with the Institute. Folks, if you have ever thought of taking your heart for others and sharing with them the value of nutrition, please get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, give us a call today, 855-949-3377. Have a fabulous weekend. This program again is sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. My name is Becca Dukes, and it is my honor and privilege to be able to lead this behind Ben, of course, who's then behind Dr. Wallach, to the nations around the world. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.